Since every possible question has been answered, well, you know, we want you to realize that in all of these hours that we've been together, we have been aware of what it is that you're wanting to chew upon. And you present to us not only your active vibration of what you are looking for right here and now, but we've been able to peek down the road a little bit into your vibrational escrow at that which is going to unfold for you in the not so distant future. And so we've been hearing you, whether you have been in the hot seat or not, and we have been offering to you in layers of understanding every answer to everything that you are about. We realize that there are some things you still want to touch upon, but it is our desire that you proceed as you move forward from this time that we have been together, and you say things to yourself such as, all of the answers are here for me, not just that Abraham has delivered them to me in their brilliant way, but because life is delivering the answers to me. I cannot come upon a question without the answer presenting itself to me. It's just the way it works, and it's how worthy I am. I cannot experience a problem without the solution presenting itself to me. And it is our desire that you leave this gathering knowing that so completely that you begin to allow your solutions to show up prior to your problems, or even simultaneously. In other words, so that almost as quickly as you acknowledge that something is necessary or wanted, that the way for it to be accomplished is seen by you. And when you get into that sort of frequency, now you are living exactly as you intended as you came forth into this physical experience. Not one of you intended to writhe in the problem. Not one of you. You expected the problems to appear because you are adventurers out here on the leading edge. You know that you are pioneers. You know that you are going where no man has gone before. You know that you are the leading edge of thought. You know that you are the expansion of the universe. You know that that is why you have come forth, and not one of you would have missed it for anything. And when you really get it, that you are here in this energy of grace and well-being, and you have that attitude of expectancy, then all hard times are over and only adventurous times are before you. We are eager to visit with you about anything that is important to you. We see that some of you are still not understanding that we've answered you and you 47 times you, 72 times you, 157 times you. We've never stopped talking to you. We're really tired of that question, really tired of that question.
Okay. I am honored to be here. I believe that the arthritis in my knees is going to go away, no problem.
What is going away?
The arthritis in my knees is going to go away.
When you believe that, the word arthritis never comes across your tongue again.
Okay. Done. I know you talked about the weight issue, and I'm working on that as well. And those have been my beliefs. I don't...
We told you, we're really tired of those questions.
My question is, I know I'm not going upstream, and I believe and trust that I am going downstream, but some of the things that you mentioned as upstream as comments, I thought were downstream comments. And so I'm figuring I have one paddle in the water and I'm going in circles. So I'm hoping you'll write a book called Upstream, Downstream Statements, because
well, the thing that's a little tricky about that, and we're glad that you bring this up, because we think that would be a very good use of time in these hours that are before us, to spend some time acknowledging which statements are upstream and which are downstream. Now, remember, it's a relative thing, and so the fact that some of them seem downstream to you and we said they were upstream maybe they were downstream from you, from where you're standing. In other words, depending upon who we're talking to, you could be upstream from the statement, and so when it is made, it feels downstream. Someone else might be downstream from the statement, and so when it is made, it's upstream.
Right.
And the thing that we want you to understand is we are not going to give out any rewards for the downstreamiest of you. Because we want you to not feel any competition or any uneasiness about where you are in the stream, because you're in the stream and it's moving, and that's enough. Wherever you are is all right. And so the only thing that you want to be aware of is this statement more downstream than the last one? Can I make more of a downstream statement? We talked about that a little bit yesterday,
Yes.
as we talked about Esther watching a television program that by someone's standards, who is really in the moment, tuned in, tapped in, turned on, they're in love with life, they're feeling appreciation for the world, they're looking at the abundance that surrounds and all of the well-being, and they might catch a glimpse of Esther watching CNN or The Daily Show or one of those shows where they are really hammering at one of the world events or about one of the political players, and as they are hammering at them in all of their humor and accuracy, and Esther is saying, yes, yes, that's exactly what I think, yes. You might say, oh boy, is she upstream, because you are in love with life. You're not pushing against anything. And you might be able to feel that Esther is pushing against in that moment. But it's not any of your business what Esther's doing in her stream. And if that television program gives her a feeling of relief as opposed to the feeling of embarrassment that she had before, or the feeling of the world is falling apart that she had before, or a feeling of there is nothing that I can do about it, these people are making decisions on my behalf and I don't like the decisions that they're making and I can't do anything about it, then that release that she's having while she's watching that television program is a downstream experience for her. But after a while, in other words, that downstream experience is only downstream for a little while. In other words, it was a relief at first, and it was a relief at first, and it was a relief at first, and it was a relief at first. But before she knows it, it's no longer a relief. It's an excuse to complain. And so she has to move on to something else. In other words, the same things don't give you your sensation of relief. You're always reaching for another way of looking at it, for a softer way of looking at it, for a better way of looking at it, for a more in alignment way of looking at it. And in time, you reach the place on every subject in the world of coming into alignment with the way who you really are looks at it. And then for a while you're stable, because you've sort of worked the kinks out of everything. You're tuned in, tapped in, turned on. You have trained yourself into vibrational alignment with the way the source within you sees the world. And you have this oasis of pleasure. You have this feeling of well-being. You have this sensation of seeing the world through your unique rose-colored glasses, where all things look good to you. But then in time, you begin to stabilize on your platform of well-being, and you begin to attract a new set of pickier, more specific, contrasting experiences. And before you know it, you're finding something even in this wonderful place that you've been standing that has contrast within it. In other words, you never stop reaching for that improved alignment, because what you are living in your physical body never ceases to cause the inner being part of you to expand. So you're always in the process of getting up to speed with the expansion that you are causing, you see. So don't worry about whether it sounded upstream or downstream when we were talking to someone else. You didn't even have all of the facts within you. In other words, we weren't talking about your vibrational escrow. We weren't talking about where you are. In other words, we're just demonstrating the process. And while many of you can feel it's upstream or it's downstream, it is such a personal thing that we really want you, especially those of you who are running around in packs and herds with each other, especially those of you who are having study groups together and who are having online chat groups together. We really want you to leave this gathering with one very powerful intention. I'm going to mind my own business. Because when you get your nose in somebody else's boat, when you try to figure out what's upstream or what's downstream for them, you complicate things. You bring your own set of dynamics to the picture, you see. And that's what so many of you have been attempting to do. You're trying to figure out what the whole world thinks or what a good part of the world thinks. You're trying to get the circumstances all lined up so that you can vote on which ones are the right ones. And you're not ever going to sort that out. But when you finally get it, that the only thing that you're sorting out is your own vibrational relationship with the expanded being that you are, and you begin to understand that you are a vibrational being, and wanting it says it's done. And then you realize that all you've got to do is stop doing that thing that's got you pointed upstream, and you're the only one that can know whether you're turning. When you get pointed downstream, Esther was so exhilarated after the gathering yesterday, she could hardly stay in her body. She said, I got it, I got it, I got it, I got it. I can feel that it's all about vibration. It doesn't have anything to do with what is. Why I would spend one moment feeling uncomfortable about one thing that is, when is only the jumping off place to whatever it is that I'm wanting. Why would I ever look back? And even worse, why would I ever look down? Why would I ever focus upon anything in my now that is anything less than making my heart soar when I've got all this promise over here that is at stake? Why would I spend a moment complaining about something or pointing out something that's wrong or criticizing something when the world is my oyster and the universe is my helper and the fairies of the universe are lining up and everything that I could ever want is out there for me? Why would I do anything other than go downstream? And we said, you're a little upstream, Esther. Just a little upstream in that.
I get it. Thank you. Yeah.
Very good.